Think of the fact that the people who are getting the big crowds right now are AOC and Bernie Sanders. They're going around the country. Thank you, there's that same guy. I call him the always wrong guy. Okay, but I feel like, big crowds, again, the shiny object that the Democrats chase it's not about the big crowd.
Bill Maher is back, and he's in full savage mode. This time, his target is the self-styled queen of woke politics, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Once again, Maher doesn't pull any punches, unleashing a sharp verbal takedown that's setting political circles on fire.
AOC says so many people in this country hate women. Oh, geez. Even the guy at the party who pulls out a guitar is like, way to ruin the fun.
AOC recently claimed that huge numbers of Americans hate women. Please, even the guy who kills every party by pulling out a guitar would stop and say, wow, way to ruin the vibe. Maher didn't waste a second roasting that claim. Then he took it even further, questioning whether AOC could ever be taken seriously as a presidential contender. In his view, she's so deep in woke ideology that she's practically unelectable. He even joked that Democrats might be better off with someone who has Trump's boldness and backbone. And he wasn't the only one saying it. Critics piled on, warning that putting AOC at the top of the ticket would be political suicide. Love him or hate him, Maher knows how to shake things up. And this time, he sent the DNC a message they can't ignore. So if you're new here, hit subscribe, grab some popcorn, and let's jump into the AOC 2028 disaster. Let's start with an old clip for context.
It's not about the big crowds that come out to you when you're talking in a festival or wherever they are. I think because I think Bernie showed up at Coachella. That must have been fun for the fans. It's who shows up on Election Day. And I just don't see that's the ticket. I mean, Cory Booker, I know you've worked with him. I like Cory a lot from my home state of New Jersey. Made a speech for 25 hours. Again, just whacking each other off. This is just not what's going to get the job.
You've probably seen this clip before, and I've talked about it plenty, so I won't spend too much time on it. It's here just to set the stage. Yes, AOC draws big crowds, credit where it's due. But as Maher rightly points out, cheering at rallies doesn't win elections. Votes do. Remember Kamala Harris? Tons of hype, celebrity endorsements, and non-stop media praise, and still one of the weakest campaigns in years. Popularity doesn't equal electability. As Maher put it, charisma might get applause, but it won't win Pennsylvania. And Maher wasn't the only one saying it. Even voices on the left started pushing back, especially over AOC's claims about Trump weaponizing the Justice Department. Listen closely.
Other Democrats are watching their words.
I think it's certainly possible, but I'm not sure. I mean, I cannot think of or point to any individuals who have said that. I do think that there are Democratic members of Congress who are preparing for that possibility.
How do they prepare?
I think they look to the possibility of litigation. I think they're saying, do we have the best teams possible in order to carry out our work?
Some Republican, or many perhaps, will be watching this, listening to this, and thinking, wait a minute, actually, you're the ones who are prosecuting us. You were the guys who are weaponizing the Justice Department. How would you respond to somebody who may be thinking that?
In what way? In what way?
Did you catch that pause? That hesitation? For a split second, she looked completely caught off guard. And honestly, so was I, especially coming from NPR, which usually goes pretty easy on Democrats. But it was a fair question. Democrats are quick to accuse Trump of abusing the DOJ while brushing past their own history of doing the same thing. Watching AOC scramble to explain that double standard was hard to miss. She's usually smooth and well prepared, but this time, she froze. You could almost see the wheels turning as she searched for the right spin. And if one straightforward question rattles her this much, imagine what happens when the media really starts pushing back.
Is the very presence
Putting
of
Trump on trial would be their example, I suppose.
Yes, I mean, here's the deal. In the United States, there is a jury where we are judged by our peers, and he was found guilty in court on 34 felony charges. If people want to say it was weaponized, I mean, it is hard-pressed to say that there's a partisan argument.
That was pure comedy. Watching the usually confident, media-trained AOC trip over her own words was honestly priceless. She kept clinging to the line that Trump was convicted by a jury, like that alone wipes away every concern. Okay, fine. But if that's the standard, then why complain when the system turns inward? Why is justice working when it hits your opponents, but suddenly corrupt when it doesn't? The hypocrisy is hard to miss. Accountability should apply to everyone, not just the people you don't like. But for the left, the rules only seem to matter when they're convenient.
A recent dispute, if that's the right word, with Tom Homan, the president's Homeland Security czar, so-called. You held an online forum, a Know Your Rights forum, that he didn't like. What were you doing? What was your goal as you saw it?
My job is to educate and act as a liaison of critical information to my constituents. And I was informing all of my constituents of their constitutional protections, and in particular, their constitutional protections against illegal search and seizure in the United States.
Homan was upset, I suppose, because he felt that you were giving advice to people who were here illegally. Were you?
I was giving advice to all of my constituents.
And once again, AOC tied herself in knots. Instead of answering the question directly, she danced around it. The interviewer asked about illegal immigrants. She answered by talking about constituents. That wasn't an accident. She knew saying the truth outright would spark backlash, so she swapped the wording to dodge criticism. It was a calculated move, and a weak one. This wasn't clever politics. It was obvious deflection, and she seemed to think no one would notice. That same pattern popped up again when she went head-to-head with Tom Homan.
Mr. Homan, your name is on this. Is this correct?
Yes, I signed that memo.
So you are the author of the family separation policy.
I am not the author of this memo.
You're not the author, but you signed the memo.
Yes, a zero tolerance memo.
So you provided the official recommendation to Secretary Nielsen on for the United States to pursue family separation.
I gave Secretary Nielsen numerous recommendations on how to secure the border and save lives.
But it says here that you gave her numerous options, but the recommendation was option 3, family separation.
What I'm saying, this is not the only paper where we've given the Secretary numerous options to secure the border and save lives.
And so the recommendation, of the many that you recommended family separation.
I recommended zero tolerance.
Which includes family separation.
The same as it is with every U.S. citizen parent gets arrested when they're with a child.
That exchange was hard to watch. Her argument just didn't hold up when it came to immigration enforcement. Some level of separation is unavoidable, just like it is when any citizen is arrested. If an American gets a DUI and is separated from their child, no one calls it a human rights crisis. But when it involves illegal immigrants, suddenly it's treated like a moral catastrophe. That's the double standard AOC keeps pushing. She leans on emotional stories instead of consistent law. It's not about fairness, it's about headlines and political points. And Homan wasn't buying it.
Zero tolerance was interpreted as the policy that separated children from their
If I get arrested for DUI and I have a young child in the car, I'm going to be separated. When I was a police officer in New York and I arrested a father for domestic violence, I separated that father
Mr.
from his
Homan,
family.
with all due respect, legal asylees are not charged with any crime.
When you're in the country illegally, it's violation 8 United States Code 1325.
Seeking asylum is legal.
If you want to seek asylum, go through the port of entry, do it the legal way. The Attorney General of the United States has made that clear.
Okay.
And then, boom. Under real pressure, AOC folded. She couldn't keep up once Homan started laying out the facts and the legal process. No shouting, no theatrics, just reality. If someone wants asylum, there's a legal path for that. Sneaking across the border doesn't come with automatic immunity. AOC tried to turn it into a moral story, brushing past the law altogether. But when she was faced with logic, there was nothing left. Just vague feelings and a quiet retreat. That's the difference between posturing and actually governing.
You're going to cut this and you're going to clip this so that it's completely out of context. I already said that it was, and y'all are just going to pretend that it wasn't over and over again. It's up, man. You're not helping these people, and you're not helping them.
You refuse to.
You're not helping them.
Wasn't she the one who advised
lefties like her to make Republicans feel uncomfortable in public, to get in their faces. Well, honey, call this instant karma.
You refuse to call it a genocide in front of everybody.
I need you to understand.
It's not okay that there's a genocide happening. You're not actively against it.
You're lying.
I'm lying.
You're not.
You went on TV and avoided talking about it.
Funny how it feels when the spotlight hits you, right? Activists love preaching about accountability until it's their turn to answer for their actions. Suddenly, it's not so simple. Take her refusal to clearly call Hamas's actions genocide. If the roles were reversed, she'd be at the front of the outrage parade. But when it conflicts with her political alliances, she goes quiet. That says it all. It's not about principles, it's about optics. And people are starting to notice.
Yes, the modern Democrats, they're the party of neo-Marxists like AOC and Bernie Sanders. They're leading the party right now, leading them straight to the depths of hell.
This isn't just about Republicans either. We need a Democratic Party that fights harder for us too.
We have a message for Mr. Trump. And that is, we will not allow you to move this country into an oligarchy.
In the end, Maher was right. An AOC-Sanders ticket would be a disaster. Not just bad strategy, but completely out of touch with reality. Both are obsessed with symbolism, viral moments, and ideological purity. Sanders talks endlessly about fighting the elites, while thriving inside an elite political system. The contradiction is impossible to miss. As for AOC, she simply doesn't have the depth, experience, or seriousness needed for national leadership. Her fame comes from viral clips, not substance. Pushing leaders like her and Sanders might energize the far-left base, but it turns swing voters away. And without them, Democrats can't win. If the party keeps choosing theatrics over practicality, it won't just lose elections, it could implode. If you enjoyed this, hit the bell, turn on notifications, and don't miss our next video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.